Welcome back to the DBMK podcast. In this third episode, we talk about why your diet shouldn't have a name. I hope you enjoy. So what we were just talking about in the car actually was, do we think that cutting out certain food groups is a bad thing, and can you still be healthy if you restrict yourself from, say, like peanuts or grains, and you prefer to eat a certain way because you know that if you do eat certain things in certain quantities that you want, you'd go over on your calories, basically.
Well, I think even taking a step back and worse than that is like vegan, keto, vegetarian, like all these things, and people labeling it, and they are like this religious group. It's like their religion, treating nutrition like, oh, I'm a keto, and like all the paleo dudes and stuff get
hype around them.
Yeah, and I think like the goal of any diet or anything should be to either maintain or get to a healthy body composition and be able to maintain that. Yeah,
and also healthfully in the mental aspect of it too.
Meaning like being able to stick to it, or?
Yeah, because I think people, by saying, oh, I'm vegan, oh, I'm keto, nothing's bad with the exact diet if that's what totally works for you and you love it and you can live your life, go out to eat and follow it. But I think by putting labels on our diet, it kind of makes us in this it puts us in a box basically, and kind of with some personality types, going outside of the box means if you're a very like this or that person or a perfectionist, then like going outside of your diet or outside of that box leads to a binge or just not thinking healthy thoughts.
Yeah, and I think it's like if you have if you're allergic to gluten, you have celiac disease, then you
should not eat gluten.
You need to have some sort of restriction over just the the energy balance equation. It's like, okay, you can't eat gluten, you have to be gluten free because you have to, or you're gonna get sick, or whatever.
And I think people who have allergies too, it's not even worth it. Even girls like that I know that have IBS, they're like, well, I have a little bit of cheese or something, but like if I have a lot of it, a thing of ice cream isn't even worth it to them because if they eat it, they feel like crap, and so it's like, am I gonna enjoy this for 15 minutes or am I gonna just feel like crap? Like, what's worth it, Yeah,
and especially if your diet is so bad where you need to eat foods that you're allergic to. Or it's so restrictive that you're like craving something that bad.
That's the thing too. Like, I think by saying, okay, I eat this stuff and not that, then you're putting yourself in a position where it's human nature to want it if you don't have it, like anything. And so I don't think it's a good idea to kind of box yourself in like that. But I do think it's important to have habits and things that you can stick to, but enjoy them and like know the logical reason of why I'm having protein 4 or 5 times a day and not in one meal.
Or just because this one person does it and
the biggest guy in the gym does it, so I'm gonna do it too. That it's good for you too.
And I mean, life is about restrictions, like we talked about earlier. It's like you need like
some form to know the opposite.
Exactly. And I think we talk about like people who are paleo, keto, vegan, but I think IFYMers have just become just as bad, and it's become just as uppity almost in that, like, I'm
the high horse of, well, look at me, I can have everything.
I can eat whatever I want.
It's like, so can you really, if you're hitting your macros perfectly, like, are you okay with that, even if you're not prepping?
Yeah.
Like, is there really a benefit to being 10 grams within everything if there's no physique goal in mind or in the future? Like,
and even in like,
near future, I mean.
Even in a competitor's off season, 10 grams on each macro.
I don't do that.
That's real. That's not flexible. No. Like, that's the funny thing. Like, if it fits your macro, people will say they're flexible dieters. That's not flexible hitting exact numbers.
Right.
I think someone who is flexible dieting, it probably probably the way to be is a flexible dieter. Because
Yeah.
that way you're not like labeling foods, you're not like picking only certain things, you're not excluding things, you're picking them, and if it is in your calorie range for the day, you know,
You can be mindful.
Yeah, I don't even think people need to have a certain amount of fats to hit, carbs to hit. I think they should have a certain amount of protein per meal. You know, hopefully getting around 2.2 to 3 grams per kg. But other than that, I don't think the rest of the calories matter.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, just because carbohydrates will fuel your workout doesn't mean you need 700 in a day and only 150 to 250 before your workout. You know, you don't need to have a breakfast that's filled with carbs. You know, you can kind of be flexible, like exactly what it says, and eat kind of what you want in the day.
I think macros work, especially when you're starting out, because it teaches you, and I think the most important thing with your diet is being knowledgeable about nutrition and knowing what you need and when, especially as an athlete, regarding carbs, and like maybe my pre-workout meal shouldn't be half my fat for the day.
Or half your fiber for the day.
Yeah. No. But I think that if you just know about nutrition, it will make it that much easier and less stressful with your diet and going out and things, because like we can just be like, oh, I'll have butter on the side. Like people don't realize too, like when you go out to eat, it's not like the point of it is for it to taste good. It's not meant to be like, oh, I'm gonna fuel this athlete's workout. Like, so I think just being mindful, and I was also saying too that I don't, regarding like not eating certain things or cutting things out just because you're logical about it. Like, say I know I'm going to get pizza with you, with your family at dinner time. I'll probably eat less fat earlier in the day and maybe not have peanut butter with a meal or something. And that's not unhealthy. That's me being mindful that I'm gonna eat my fat. Not the best kind, but the best mentally if I'm gonna be able to eat with you and not bring my little Tupperware of perfectly, like, no oil anything, you know?
And I think that's what's great about being flexible. So say you have an extra piece of pizza, you go over by 350 calories just on the day. A flexible dieter will say, okay, I'll just drop 350, or let's say it's 500. You know, let's say you go over 500 calories. Or, you know, you say, you know, like an IFYMer might be like, I'm going to binge and just eat whatever I want. Or
the box.
Or they'll be like, okay, it's easy. I'll just eat 500 less calories tomorrow. Or over the next 5 days, you could just drop 100 calories. You know, it's the energy balance equation over.
Or you could just get over it.
Or
okay.
you could live your life.
Without.
But
depending.
You touched upon something earlier, like you said, I think you need a certain amount of nutrition knowledge. Do you think you have to track macros to have nutrition knowledge?
That's a good question.
I know. Or calories. Do you think you need to track?
I think you need to track your macros. Specifically. Yeah, because I think if you're tracking your macros versus calories, say, okay, my maintenance is 1,800 calories, and I go throughout my day. This is me not knowing about macros, and I'm going throughout my day, looking at my calories, and I eat a meal that's higher in carbs and nothing else. Like, say I have pretzels, 2 servings of pretzels as a snack. An hour later, I'm starving. Why is that? Probably because I didn't have protein. Maybe I needed some fat in it. And I think, and fiber. So I think kind of listening to your body in that sense, it would help you to know, okay, I need protein at this meal and all meals. And just stuff like that. You kind of have to learn from it and experience. And experience it. And
it's always funny to ask somebody who has never tracked macros before, but you know they have like pretty good, like they know.
Okay, Greek yogurt's good for you, but why?
And they know like sweet potato is not a protein source; it's a carb source. But then it's like funny to be like, so how many calories have you had today? And they're like, oh, 3,500. You know, it's like you just. That came out of thin air, you know. Like, okay, just because you feel like you ate a lot.
And I think too, that's where I think the clean and dirty foods come from. It's okay, Greek yogurt's clean. Why is that? It's not that it's the most amazing food ever and you washed it 30 times. It's because it has protein that's going to keep you full, and so that will help you with your diet or your deficit. You know, it's not, oh, well, if I have Greek yogurt with some sugar in it, it's like dirty now, you know? So I think just knowing like the reasoning why you're eating certain things and how that's going to affect you is more important than saying, oh yeah, 1,800 calories, let me just have a bunch of pretzel. Like,
oh my god.
So just teaching people about it.
And we didn't even go over intermittent fasting. I forgot that.
What do you want to say
nothing
about
wrong
that?
with, no, nothing I want to say like wrong with it, but like, you know, oh, I'm an IFYM or intermittent faster. I can't eat till 2 p.m. You know, it's like, you know, like you don't understand there's nothing magical about fasting. It's the deficit that it's able to create because you're only eating maybe 2 meals stuffed all together.
Yeah. I think too, a lot of people just don't have appetites in the morning, so it can work for them, and like that's totally cool. But that's the thing. I think if something like that works for you, then do it. But know that there's going to be a Christmas morning where you're going to want your mom's French toast, and that you're not going to be every single day. It's going to be perfect. But I think having the basic like routines and habits is that is what will help you progress and everything.
I think throughout this whole conversation, like what we're trying to do is to get people off their high horse. Like intermittent fasters act like they invented skipping breakfast. It's like
I know. It's like some people aren't hungry. Wow.
But what is good about it, because there's good things about every diet. I think is that it goes to show like someone who's telling me they haven't lost weight because they forgot to eat breakfast. It's like, oh, it doesn't work.
It's like, honey, no.
Yeah. And like,
do you want to talk about like bulletproof pup?
No, not at all.
Nope. Well, why would keep going.
Like what people don't understand is the word diet comes from the Greek word dieta, which means way of life. It's not like it's the diet that we see now, which are
you say diet and it's a deficit now.
Yeah, like even me, I'm guilty of it. I say, oh, I'm dieting right now, which means I'm probably trying to lose fat. You know, like. But at the same time,
it has that connotation to it.
Yeah, you never say like you never hear someone say like a Gen Pop person saying like, oh, you know, I'm trying to maintain my weight. I'm going to go keto, or like I'm going to go paleo.
Yeah, because it puts you in the box of not being able to.
And
especially if you're not prepping, it's like you just want to lose a few pounds. You're not. Yeah. There's no. It's not even smart to be so rigid with it because overall it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Yeah, but people don't understand that. And then the problem is like, okay, once they decide they want to be a paleo intermittent faster. It's funny, sorry. You know, are they going to be a paleo intermittent faster like after they're like, oh wow, I look pretty good right now? You know, do they continue that?
That's the thing too. That's why I always say you have to enjoy training. We were just saying, I told Dan at the gym today, I was like, you know, if I didn't love lifting, like, I'd go on the treadmill and walk and like do some things, but that would get boring. And what you go back to, diet and training wise, is what you enjoy and what you can stick with. Are you gonna wake up in the morning and be like, I can't wait to run in the freezing cold every day? No, like some people totally, that's their thing and like do it. But if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're not gonna go back.
That's why.
And you're gonna associate it with negative feelings, so it won't be productive.
That's why you're lucky that you're a bodybuilder. Because it's actually hilarious. I'm just thinking about this. You love training. You are very type A. You need your protein at this time.
Yep. I love cooking too, which helps. I'm very creative, so anything with recipes and making like macro-friendly things. It's like what I was saying too, like Dan can eat way more carbs and calories than me, obviously, because he's a foot taller, and like his NEAT is super high. Mine not so much, and I'm also a small female, so. But I think that I'm meant to be a small female because I know like how to make things better if they're less calories and stuff. So it kind of works that way.
You have to be creative, and you like to be on stage too, which helps. So I think, you know, when someone's determining like, whether they should diet, which most people, probably not a good idea to diet. You're probably lean enough and you're just gonna screw things up, or like hate your life, which is not worth it.
Yeah, and it's like it's not.
So what people need to do is kind of like, if they actually need to lose weight, start losing weight to become healthy, healthy body weight at least.
Yep.
But don't think just because you're lean that you're going to be happier when you're eating lean.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to just pick foods that you like. Like even if you're starting tracking macros or just calories in general, I tell people like pick like 15 to 20 foods that you like or eat the most. Put them in your app so you have them saved, and then you just go down, you click it, and be like, okay, I ate 4 ounces of rice. You don't need to.
Yeah, and it makes shopping easier too, and saving money. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have these foods that you eat probably mostly, and you can kind of be like, okay, that's 4 ounces. It's the size of my palm. I can eat that, and you don't need to like weigh everything. And most people probably shouldn't.
No. I think it's one of those things that if you do it enough, you're gonna benefit more than the person who is tracking every single gram of rice and just there's a line that you cross and you're just gonna drive yourself insane. And
I honestly think you can be more accurate with being more flexible over a period of a month. So say someone goes out to eat 2 to 3 times a week, a flexible dieter who will be like, okay, I had this, and if they're not weighing everything, they're just being like mindful of their calories. Yeah. They're gonna average out probably better than someone who weighs everything to the gram because they're gonna be like super OCD about it. Yeah. And then when they go out to eat, they're gonna like
bring a scale or bring their food.
Yeah, and they're probably, it might not be, but like they might say fuck it.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
But they'll probably underestimate their calories because they're like, oh, I had this, I was so accurate throughout the day. And I was going to mention earlier, like even registered dietitians, if they are to, this is going back to do you need to track macros to know about nutrition, or not know about nutrition, but like get a feel of how much calories you're eating. Yeah. Registered dietitians are off by about 20% when they estimate how many calories are in a meal.
Really?
And imagine like your average person.
And I was gonna say too, like, I think the weighing things out to the gram and everything like that, the black and white, like if it fits your macros, I think that attracts people who are very like obsessive compulsive, and it is kind of like it gives them like a reassurance, like okay, like that's 100 grams, perfect, and things. And I think a lot of people who prep are like that too, and it's almost like you arguably enough, you kind of need it for a prep, but so the sport attracts people like that, but you have to think, okay, I kind of have to be like that in prep, but after the show too, you don't take into consideration that once your food's higher and you don't have your cardio and you can be less OCD, a lot of the people who are very like that, that's the people who end up binging and not going to the gym or not doing certain things because it's this or that. There's no middle ground. And I think people who are very OCD attracted to the sport need to take into consideration post-show.
And some people
almost more so.
And some people have fun with it. I've never had like a feeling to compete, but I remember when I first started tracking, I would look like I'm gonna have chicken breast. I'd type it in my app and it'd be like, there's like so many different types of chicken breast here. Like which one am I eating? Like, and I'd be like, okay, I don't want to get it wrong. So I'm like, I'd literally be on the food database, like, and I'd like look chicken breast, and it's like, it was ridiculous. Like 4 ounce serving is like 37.8 grams. I'll be putting in my app, like exact.
As if it
mattered.
Like, to the big picture. Yeah.
But
I think there's a time where you kind of have to like. You have to play around and.
You have to be interested enough to care.
Yeah.
Like starting out.
Yeah, of course.
And and if you care too much, you become
crazy. And sometimes you need to get a little crazy and realize, okay, I'm being crazy. We're done with that now. You're not going to be perfect.
But that's the problem when people you know, they complain to me that like it takes too long. It's like 15
Yeah.
to 20 foods that you normally eat. You know, it doesn't need to be perfect.
Usually it's not important to them, or just like
Yeah, exactly.
when you're not a serious athlete,
Mm-hmm.
it's not as
Yeah. And I mean, I genuinely don't think,
prioritized.
you know, and it's funny, you know, people say, I don't think that macro stuff works. It's like, at this point,
Energy balance.
yeah, it's the energy balance equation. And at this point, thermodynamics. At this point, I don't even argue. I'm just like, oh, okay, if it doesn't work for you, don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's where these diets come from. You know, like, because they don't have no idea. They have such little knowledge of what's in food.
Yeah.
They think it's like the bodybuilders of the 70s and 80s. Like, you know, I'm gonna go from steak to tilapia because it thins the skin.
Oh god.
Have you heard that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So it doesn't thin the skin. 1 ounce of steak has like 7 grams of fat.
Mm-hmm.
Tilapia has 0.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're eating,
Then it adds up if you have every meal is that your protein.
steak to tilapia, you're cutting like 50 grams of fat
Yeah.
for your meal. So it's like
That's why some of these diets do work, because you're
It's
putting
manipulating
yourself.
calories.
Yeah, and
Yes.
if you're just eating the standard American diet, and then you go to paleo, and you're all of a sudden you're eating all these fruits and veggies.
cutting out an entire macronutrient.
Yeah, but you're eating micros and like whole protein sources, and
Fiber,
then you're
protein,
in
more
a
full.
deficit.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose weight. It's not the paleo diet that's the crazy. It's the fiber, micros, all the good stuff that's keeping you full.
It's crazy. It's less
It's-
calories.
yeah.
It's like wow.
Yeah. But that's the reason. It's not the paleo. Like
Mhm. Yeah, it's not
the
because
title of it.
you're eating like Paleolithic man.
Mhm.
And I think there is a study that came out that showed that they did eat some like wheat and stuff
Oh
too,
yeah,
which is fine.
I'm sure, but
But I don't think people are on that anymore. So,
yeah.
but yeah, it just goes to show like how people want like, you know, quick fixes and fads and stuff. Like,
You know,
if I'm in ketosis, I'm gonna burn fat so much faster. It's like
you kind of want to. Some people just want to be like that interesting and like, oh,
it is a talking point. It's a talking
yeah,
point, which goes back to like the religious aspect of dieting. You know, you put this diet on a pedestal and you know, kind of look down upon the people who are eating their rice and stuff. But yeah,
I think that was really good.
I think we pretty much covered everything, guys.
That was really good.
Good.
We can go on and on, but we'll cut it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, question of the day is: do you think you need to track your macros in order to learn nutrition, or like generally mindful of calories?
Thanks, guys.